We will move over to our second talk, who is from Greg Snow. So, Greg, thank you so much for prepping a talk to share with us. Tell us a little bit about our six counters and progress bars.
Okay. Um, so I want to talk a little bit about R6 progress bars. This is actually somewhat promoting a package that I'm working on called R6 Toys. So the progress bars are part of that. Uh, this is very pre-beta, probably even pre-alpha. I don't know what comes before alpha, but if you want to install the package to see what's there, not very much documentation yet, but you can check back from time to time. But you can install it from GitHub, GL Snow R6 Toys / package, and you'll get that. But just a quick partial history of progress bars in R. So those of us who have been using R long enough remember back when R did not have any progress bars, and various people started adding progress bar code to their various packages. I was one of the guilty parties and probably one of the last ones because when I published mine, an offline discussion ensued. I think I had a small bug somewhere that led to this. But Professor Brian Ripley, part of our core, referred to my progress bars as the ugliest he had ever seen. I should have kept that email to quote him in that. Mostly we got along in that, but that. But apparently, one of my claims to fame is that it was just ugly enough that it convinced Professor Ripley to, as a member of our core, that he added what we have now, the progress bars that are in R itself. Um, so I can't say that I put them there, but I inspired him to put them there with my ugly code. I still disagreed with him on some of the user interface, but because he's Brian Ripley and I'm not, and he's part of our core and I'm not, he won that discussion. But he did tell me, it's like, well, if you don't like how I do it, write a wrapper. And so that's what the R6 progress bar uh, object does, is it's a wrapper around the existing functions. So you get the same progress bars, the same functionality, and that, but what I think is a better interface. Now that's my opinion. Yours may differ, his differs in that, but it uses the R6 object-oriented programming to do that. Okay. So just as a comparison, so using the built-in ones, if I wanted a progress bars with the so running with the function replicate, so I first create. So this creates a Windows progress bar. If you're not on Windows, you need to do either TK or text there. But you create the progress bar, and then inside of my replicate, here's my code I need to run. I need to do something like get the current value of the progress bar, save that as temp, and then set the progress bar's value to temp plus one. So that it will increment it, and then I do the rest of the code that I want. When I'm done using it, uh, you can close the progress bar, and then you still got this PB thing sitting around. And so if you remove it, so of course, it can get deleted automatically if you don't save your things there. So my approach, you do need to, install and then load the package. So similarly to here, I create the progress bar using the R6. So it's R6 progress bar $new. But here's the nice thing is I don't have three different functions. I just have an option for which type. So if you don't specify the type, it actually defaults. It'll try to do win, then it'll try to do TK. If neither of those are going to work, then it will do a text one, but you can just specify it here. With the current one, if I want to switch to a TK progress bar, I have three places in my code that I have to change that. Whereas with the R6 one, I just change this type right here and it remembers everything else there. And then instead of these two rows here, finding out what the current value is, and then adding one to that and setting it, I just take my progress bar, run the increment method or inc for increment method, that updates the progress bar, and then I run the rest of my code. When I'm done with it, if I remove the progress bar, that does the closing on it as well as part of the finalization. Now the progress bar for a Windows or TK1 doesn't actually disappear until that thing is garbage collected. So, the finalization there. So that's kind of my improvement. Um, if we use something like sapply, and I did test this, this also works with map from the per package. But here I'm assuming I already have a progress bar that I've been using before. I've got this myfun is the function that I want to use with sapply uh, or map or something similar. Now, if I'm doing a for loop from 1 to 1,000, I can just use set progress bar with that number. But these are the cases where I like my interface better. But the built-in, we'd reset our progress bar with set win progress bar. And then again, now we need to kind of write a wrapper function with sapply. So here's my anonymous function that updates my progress bar and then runs the function. Whereas with my R6 progress bars, I have this method called run, where I just pass in my function and it will uh, basically wrap that in something similar to this and automatically do the incrementing there. So that's, I think, a lot more simple there as well. So that's a quick and dirty introduction to my progress bars. Again, if you want to play with these, install it from GitHub. And my conclusion is go forth and bar progress. I mean, show your progress.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you so much. And I think most people probably have heard of R6 methods and whatnot. Can you tell me, like a little bit about like when you reach for this, like when you decide, this is the thing that I want, and this is why I want to, for example, like build the infrastructure around it for like progress bars in this case.
So R6 is really great anytime you want to save state. So in this
Great.
case, the progress bar we're updating. So even with the built-in ones, you're saving the state, but it's kind of a mix of object-oriented and functional programming where you have to pass that PB object and then it gets updated. R6 is the more natural where it's internally it's still doing the same thing. It's got its own counter, but the interface is, well, I've got this object. When I run a method on it, it's going to update the right parts of the object, but then it just kind of encapsulates everything really nicely in a like a little bit more efficient. I understand. I believe Hadley Wickham did a bunch of time testing on comparing the R6 objects to the um, they used to call them S5, but they didn't like that. But the
Yeah.
Reference classes.
Yeah,
reference
yeah, yeah.
classes, that's right. And ended up switching a bunch of the ggplot2 code to using R6 instead because it was a lot quicker and a lot more efficient. And it's just kind of really nice. And so, I only have a few things in R6 toys right now, but if you keep a watch on, I'm going to add other things to kind of show you some of the different fun things that are easy to do with the R6 packages and a couple things that, if you want to pretend like you're working, but you really need a 5 minute, you
There
know,
you go.
there's some puzzles and games that you can do. It's like, no, I'm exploring this R6 package and how to use these R6 objects. I'm not really just playing with a maze here.
There you go. Awesome, Greg. Awesome. Thank you for walking through that. I do think it's really, I do think the, object-oriented programming and art can be a little overwhelming. And so I appreciate you walking through when you reach for it and why you go about doing that. Awesome. Thank you so much, Greg.